Hello, highly esteemed followers, and welcome back to English with Teacher Dixon. Today, I'd like us to delve vividly into the mid-vowel sounds of English, that is, among the 12 pure vowel sounds, particularly on the spellings or the graphemes representing those three sounds. We have three mid-vowel sounds as long as the pure vowel sounds are concerned, and they are often misarticulated. So we are going to look into not only the articulation of the three sounds, but also the spellings of the sounds in words, where you can find the sounds in words. So let's look at what we have here. All right, let's begin with the R sound. Remember, the topic is graphemes of the mid vowels. R, and R. Okay. Before you say any of these sounds, you have to place your tongue at the center of your mouth. That's why we call it mid-vowel sound. Both the height of the tongue and part of the tongue involved is the central part of the tongue. So these are mid-vowel sounds. The first one is R, as if you want to say ah and o, but you raise the central part of your tongue. Make this sound. R, R, R. All right. So the first spelling we have for the R sound is letter U, and letter U happens to be the most obvious spelling of this particular sound. Most times we have the U sound in place of letter U, but any letter U that is pronounced as O, it is the R sound we have there, and not O. So some persons will say cup. It's not cup, but cup, because of the R sound. So in place of letter U, we have R, as in cup, bus, sun, run, turn. Again, we have letter O as the spelling of the R sound, as in sun. Note, this particular sun is pronounced the same as this one. That's S-U-N and S-O-N. So in place of O, we have the R sound, sun, the sun of. Then we have done, we have love, above, cover. Another spelling of the R sound is OU, as in young, tough, rough, enough, and couple. So in place of OU in these words, the, the spellings are underlined. In place of OU, we have the R sound, young, tough, rough, enough, couple. Again, a very important spelling among the spellings of the R sound is OO. OO is actually a very obvious spelling of the U or U sound, which we discussed previously. But in some cases, we do have the R sound in place of OO, as in these two words, blood and flat. I I can say that these are obviously the two words we have this particular sound. As two words spelled with OO that we have the R sound. Other ones you have either U or U. But for these two, we have the R sound, flat and flat. Then we go over to the next one, which is the sound, This is not pronounced as A or R, but as in ER. So in place of ER, we can have the sound, as in her. Give this to her. Her, the pronoun her, has the sound, and not R. So it's not her, but her. Then we have turn, serve, nerve, person. So in place of ER in all these words, we have the R sound. Another obvious spelling of the R sound is IR, as in bird, first, girl, shirt, stir. So this is not steer, but stir. Then shirt, bird, not bed. Say bed, you're talking about something else. This is bird, first, not faced, not girl, but girl. Alright, so the first spelling of the R sound is ER, the second is IR. The third obvious spelling of the R sound is UR, as in fur, 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 turn, hurt, nurse, church. Take them again. Fur, turn, hurt, nurse, church. Right. Also, in place of EAR, we can also have the R sound in words such as learn, earth, hurt, hurl, and search. Learn, earth, hurt, hurl, and search. Then also in place of OR, this one is very pivotal. So note, in place of OR, we can also have the R sound, as in word, work, worth, words, worship. So it is not word, two letters word, not word, but word, word. We have the R sound, not the O sound. Something applicable to work, work. If you say walk, that means you're pronouncing A W A L K. So W O R K is work. Then we have worth, words, worship. People will call this worship. It's not worship, but worship. Let me also comment here that all these spellings are mostly representing the R sound, where we have them at the middle of consonant sounds. For instance, if you have ER at the end of a word, you're likely to have another sound apart from the R sound. But in cases you have ER at the middle in between consonant sounds, there is 80% possibility of having the R sound. I'm saying 80% because we still have some words that have unusual sound. Like, for instance, words like plaque, we have ER, but that ER spells the R sound. Also have sergeants, so that one is for R, but mostly ER is for the R sound. When you have it in between words like two consonant letters, you have ER in between. Turn, likely to have it. Serve, nerve, person, so on. The same thing applicable to IR, in between consonant sounds, bird, first, and so on. Then you are. So note the position you are likely to have the R sound. It is not only knowing the spelling, but also important to note the position so that in case we have another sound that can be represented by such letter of the alphabet, you know the right sound by position, whether it is initial position, final position, or medial position. So this particular sound or letters of the alphabet are often at the medial position. So when you have them at the medial position, you're likely to have the R sound. Now, finally, let's look at the schwa sound. This is vowel R, R. Also a mid vowel sound, that is to say you say it pressing the central part of your tongue. So it is through the help of the central part of the tongue that you realize this sound. The first spelling of this sound is letter A. Let me also emphasize here that this is one sound in English language that is very versatile. Using the word versatile because it can be used at different locations of words. It can be represented also by different letters of the alphabet. And this is the first vowel that is represented by all the vowel letters we have in English. So looking at the graphics of vowel R, the schwa sound, you can see that we have letter A, letter E, letter I, O, U, which are the 5 vowel letters in English language. So that's to say you need to pay ample attention to the study of this sound in order to know where you have them in words. So looking at the spelling, first is letter A, as in about, away, around, alike, asleep. Then we have letter E, as in taken, taken, garden, open, broken, heaven. So in place of letter E in these words, the second syllables of each of the words, we have the R sound. Taken, garden, open, broken, heaven. Again, we have letter I as the spelling or a grapheme of the schwa sound, as in pencil, medicine. So look at the two words, pencil and medicine. So in place of letter I in pencil, we have the R sound. And then in medicine, in place of letter I, we have the R sound. Letter O can also be the spelling of the R sound, that's the schwa sound, as in today, today, police, common. In the word common, we have two O, but the second O represents the schwa sound. I'm going to explain that. Then we have here complete, complete, commit. Okay, this is it. The schwa sound is mostly in the weak syllable. For instance, the word today is made up of 2 syllables, to and day. So the one you give prominence when articulating or when pronouncing is the stressed syllable, and the other one is the unstressed, which is otherwise described as the weak syllable. So you have the schwa sound in a weak syllable, not a stressed syllable. That's why we describe it as the shortest of all the pure vowel sounds in English language. So the schwa sound is the shortest, and we mostly have it in weak syllables. For instance, today. If you look at the transcription of today, you see that the symbol indicating stress is placed where we have the second syllable, day, get prominence today. That we pronounce day louder than ten. The same thing applicable to police, police. Common, Ka is louder, so we have the O sound there and not the schwa sound. Then man, where we have the schwa sound in place of O. Complete, commit. Note here that in most words spelled with com or con, if that syllable is stressed, it means you are going to have a different sound. It can be the O or the A sound. But if that syllable is on stress, especially for verbs like control, compete, complete, when once that first syllable is weak, you're going to have the schwa sound, which is R. But if it is strong, that is, the syllable is stressed. For instance, common, common. So in common, the syllable is stressed. Hence, we have a different sound. But in a weak syllable like complete, we have the schwa sound. Commit, we have the schwa sound. So take note of that and apply that to other words with com or con. Consist, composed, and so on. Then we also have letter U as a spelling of the R sound, as in support, success. Most times this name is called success. When you say success, you're wrong because the stress is on the second syllable. Look at the symbol, meaning that the first syllable is weak and we have the schwa sound there. So it is not all, it's not suck, but suck. Success, success. So the name is success and not success. Again, we have circus, circus, focus, supply. And most obvious spelling of the schwa sound is ER at the end of words. Remember, we talked about the grapheme ER while considering the R sound, vowel number 11. We are going back to it now under vowel number 12. Now, all you need to note is the difference between the two. Where do we have the schwa sound, which is vowel number 12, the R sound, and where do we have the R sound, which is vowel number 11? Remember what I said about vowel number 11? That it is always where we have ER at the medial position. For instance, in between in between letter T and M, we have ER. Hence, we realize the ER as term. But in father, father, we have ER at the end of the word. Hence, we realize it as father. So the schwa sound is realized mostly where we have ER at the end of words. For instance, father, mother, sister, brother, printer, anything with ER at the end, right? Especially words with two syllables or three, computer. So we have the schwa sound there. Exception of words like her, which is just one syllabic word, her. This one we have but for all these ones and other words, are at the end, two syllables, three syllables, and so on, likely to have the R sound. Again, note this one. Another important grapheme is OUR or OR. When you have OR at the end of a word, you're likely to have the R sound, or you have OUR, likely to have the schwa sound there. So when you have OUR or OR at the end of a word, that is the final position, likely to have the R sound or the schwa sound. For instance, doctor, honor. Note, look at the transcription of honor. It is not honor. You say honor, you're wrong because we don't have the sound in the transcription, meaning that the H is silent. So it is honor, something applicable to words like honorable, honest, hour. So a point of emphasis as long as this lesson is concerned, is where we have OUR in the word. We have the A sound, honor, sailor, and many more. So note the, the spellings of the mid vowel sounds, the three mid vowel sounds we have in English language, which include the and er. Hope you will not have difficulties realizing this sound. It's very simple. Just ensure that you use the middle part of your tongue when you're about to articulate the sound, and you're going to get it accurately. Thank you very much for watching this video. I want to believe you do well to share, like, and comment. Many thanks.